Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the rear calipers on this 2002 Trailblazer. This is the same procedure for any Trailblazer, Envoy, Rainier, Bravada, or Ascender with the aluminum rear disc calipers. Pretty common problem. Since they're made of aluminum, they tend to start leaking after about 100,000 miles. Tools you'll need are jack and jack stands, 19mm socket and ratchet or your tire iron, 11 and 14mm wrenches, and you'll need sockets as well, 10mm wrench, brake cleaner or mineral spirits, some brake fluid, and also a torque wrench. And obviously we show you how to do one side, the opposite side is the same procedure. Start by removing the rear wheel. I am using impact tools, so it's a little easier. If you're just using regular hand tools, start with the vehicle on the ground, loosen the lug nuts, then raise and secure the vehicle and remove the lug nuts, and then remove the wheel and tire.
Okay, first, you just want to loosen this bolt that holds the brake line to the caliper. Okay, so this bolt is 11mm. Got an 11mm wrench. What I'm going to do is take another wrench and put it on like that. Okay, and just loosen it. It's just a lot easier to loosen it while you have the caliper still mounted. Okay, now I'm going to take my 14mm wrench. See if I can make sure this is going to work here. Loosen up my caliper bolts using the little wrench for some extra leverage here.
Fast forward here while I just remove those two bolts that hold the caliper to the caliper bracket.
Remove my caliper. You can see I'm leaking out a little bit of brake fluid already. 11mm, tighten that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to prep my new caliper by taking some nice new brake fluid. Okay, carefully just fill the piston. Okay, so I've got my new caliper right here, upright and waiting. Okay, I'm going to take my old caliper. The line. Okay, a pair of pliers. Hold that crush washer.
And all I'm doing right here is holding the copper washer with the pliers and then unscrewing the bolt to get the washer off.
Bit. Pull that bolt out. Stick my line up as high as I can. Okay. Get the other washer off. Okay, so we'll take some new copper crush washers. Put on there. Okay, bring this down. the bolt through. New washer on here. And grab our caliper. Start the bolt in. Make sure it starts straight. That should be nice and easy. Okay, I'm just gonna go this way, so that wants to come up like that. Make sure we get it on here correctly.
Okay, to better explain what I did there, I just kind of put the caliper down into place the way it would be, so I can make sure that the hose is routed correctly, and I'm tightening it up the way it wants to be on there.
Got some fluid all over the place, so I'm going to pull this relatively tight. Wipe the extra fluid down. So it's not dripping all over the place. Okay. Now I can put this in place.
And now here I'm just putting the bolts that hold the caliper in place back on. Sorry, I didn't realize that my angle was as bad as it is. Good shot on my back and the 1A Auto logo though.
Okay, so I'm going to torque my bolts here to 23 foot-pounds.
And then I'm going to torque the bolt for the hose to 13 to 15 foot-pounds.
Use brake parts cleaner or mineral spirits. Clean up any fluid you may have gotten on the rotors. Be sure to fill your fluid reservoir. Now you're going to need to pump your brakes a bunch of times to get those rear calipers seated.
You speed up a little bit, and as you can see here, it takes a few pumps before they get seated and the pedal is firm again.
Okay, check and fill your reservoir again. Looks good. Okay, now you need to bleed the brakes. The bleeder valve is right here. Okay, I've got a little water bottle with a little bit of brake fluid at the bottom. I'm going to put my wrench on, and then I'm going to put this hose right on there. And then I've got an assistant in the car, and I'm going to tell them to hit the brakes, and they'll press the brakes, and then I'll loosen this and allow any air to come out. Okay, so let me loosen it, make sure it loosens first. Okay, okay, hit the brakes hard. Okay, and you can see, let off the brakes, and when you loosen the thing, you want to look in the bottle and look for air. Hit the brakes, let off the brakes, hit the brakes, let off the brakes, hit the brakes one more time, let off the brakes, hit the brakes. Okay, let off the brakes, and then once you don't see any air, then that's bled. Do the other side, and we'll be all set.
Okay, now put the tire back on. One point of clarification is if you are going to replace both calipers, you want to replace both the calipers first and then bleed the brakes after you've replaced both calipers. Okay, so back to the wheel, put the wheel on, start the lug nuts by hand first, and then I'm using my impact wrench just to preliminarily tighten up those lug nuts. and then with it back down on the ground, tighten the lug nuts with a torque wrench to 100 foot-pounds. I use a crossing pattern doing the opposites, and then I go right around in a circle just to make sure that they're all tight. Replace the cap and you're all set. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.